Well, that's it. Well, Kyle, fuck off any work you have for the next few days, because that's... Ooh, it's all changing.
That'll do her. Let's move, people.
What am I doing again? Oh, yeah, I was breaking out of the vault.
Two of us.
Yeah, right. Oh, there's still stuff I can nick, though, right? Oh, I've already read this, maybe. Put it back down. It's been a little while since I played this, so it might take me a second to, like...
Okay, definitely feeling
Get back
the
together.
burn. Not in a good way.
Alright, let's go.
So let's lark and go already.
Whee! Ooh.
Here goes nothing.
Okay, so I can shoot. Oh! Grunts in pain, grunts in pain, grunts in pain.
Is everyone okay?
So it's all between me being around, I'm just not to shoot. Hey dude, that's completely fine. You know what I mean, no one's expected, it's lovely to... I haven't been streaming as much, like in the last sort of year and a half really, as much as I was in the past, so it's all good. It's lovely even more so that we can still find time, you know? Yeah.
Don't go towards it.
Guardians of the Galaxy. How many times
Did you actually delete your account?
to kill you? Stall her, Peter.
She hasn't done it once yet.
The audacity that you thought you could rob me.
We did want to sell
For the
her.
record, we weren't
Raccoon.
all on board with the plan.
Thanks, Quill. Why not sell the clothes right off my back?
Get him. I mean,
You
we
know
need the credit, so...
What I did
If
to
she's
the
wanting to buy
last
your
people
clothes.
who thought I was easy prey.
You let him go?
I was going to say something along those lines.
We're trapped.
Well, shit.
Lady Hellbender.
If you keep
Let us
chugging that
settle this
vape, you might
honorably.
become Thomas the Tank Engine. I've been trying to cut back on actual like smoking and stuff, so I've been
Honorably.
chugging them hard, and I will continue to do
Your
so.
offer
Lovely flavour at the
is
moment though,
worthless
like a blue
to destroy.
raspberry. Really nice.
There is no escaping my wrath. I can work with that. Dweller.
Shoot you, motherfucker.
Feast upon them.
Okay, I gotta remember how to do fights. If I remember it, you start with a lot of smack talk, push each other and just go, "What's up?" You know, do the old Forrest Whitaker and get at it. In fact, just quit on the dot if you can do it, so power of the mind. Well, I can't. It's more gear anyway, it's more money based, like I don't have the money to keep smoking it, so I'm having to like limit it a lot more.
Okay, that's
But,
a true monster.
Well, let's make it truly.
Burn into it. Oh shit!
We're gonna get blasted if we don't deal with those arms.
Okay, I'm just trying to remember what I have to do.
Destroy them, my. What? No!
Ruth, you're up. Chop him, Gamora. I'm willing to negotiate.
It's a little late for the sales pitch.
Oh, get him!
Pay for that. Go get them.
Oh
Now
shit!
we know what kind of monster Hellbender likes.
Oh.
Little late for that.
This thing could do with a few less arms.
Curse you!
Wrap it up, buddy.
Time for the big gun. You're up, big guy. Prepare yourself.
Knife to me! If this lady's got anger issues, you have no idea.
We got this.
No!
Got two of its little flippers. It's only got two now, and it needs one to stay upright. Can't keep swimming in the air with lack of
Enough
flippers.
toying with them. End this.
What's that? Did you just, oh, they don't look friendly.
All right, ground control.
Don't forget about the big one!
And beware the spine protrusion. Don't have to tell me twice.
Just let them slap that shit down again. Oh, I didn't have enough of breach to it.
Smoke them, Rocket.
Wait,
Like we don't have
get 'em,
enough
Groot.
problems already.
Hey, at least the jelly things die real good.
Slow-mo! Oh, what? I didn't do that properly. Shit.
I commend your effort, Lady Hellbender.
Your word!
Oh, fucking hell, she got over there. Quick!
Curse you! Swarm them, my pets!
I have
Nothingness! Danger close, Rocket!
Oh, trying to do my thing.
Who you're messing with, lady?
Why isn't it says Scrooge things available, right? What's it?
Now, overwhelm them!
My great strength goes underutilized!
Hold it.
What's next, Peter? Now, swing!
Oh, we're just not allowed to use the other people's powers at the moment.
We're about to have more problems!
Pulverize them! Hit him down, Groot!
As caught, the beast must feed upon these gelatinous creatures!
We can't let it get its strength up!
The creature mocks us with its regenerative
Any
jiggling!
last words?
Yeah, kill him.
Blow him away, Rocket!
I commend your effort, Lady Hellbender!
Get him.
Hiding behind them! My brother! What have they done to you?
Fucked you up.
And now, rain fire upon them!
Those things are hot and heavy! Get it?
No!
They could be useful!
Useful if you want to get burned! Peter Quill, unleash me onto these fools!
Alright, got him. Oh, and good stuff. Hit that probably shit.
I'm ready! Just find me an opening!
Slice and dice!
I'm on it!
Hey, Quill! Want to see some fireworks?
Yeah, got him. Oh shit. Hey, stay still, you shit.
The end draws nigh, Lady Hellbender! The outside keeps regenerating!
Oh shit.
Your own weapon shall be your
Get up, buddy.
downfall.
You get up.
Take revenge, sweet!
Oh, fucking hell.
Let's see that sword!
Order up!
Get the hectic here.
Too late to call this off!
Oh shit. My mouse is on. Come on.
Coming!
That car's gonna blow!
There is always fire! What's those bombs?
I would sooner use them against the beast!
This is how it's done!
Think these jiggle cubes go to jiggly heaven?
Feel that heat, Guardians!
Cut them open! Enough with the deli! Break its bones!
Get him. Oh.
Of course this thing spits molten coal!
It's getting desperate! Things are heating up! Get it?
Climate does not appear to have changed!
Oh shit. How do I do the huddle again? Oh.
Guys, huddle up!
Long have I
I'm good. I ain't trying to prove anything to anyone. Normal mode all the way, baby.
Let me finish it alone.
No. If anyone's gonna win this alone, it'll be me and my blade.
We work together, yo.
Dudes!
Yeah.
Talking about fighting alone. We're a team. We fight better together.
Don't get me wrong, there's the odd game that I might go back and play on high difficulty, but usually I only play a game once, maybe once again like many years in the future. So I like to just take it in, you know, shit. Alright, oh shit.
Don't get your branches blown off! What's next, Peter?
Make them burn!
Alright, fuck him up, yo.
Like a tree!
Get out of here.
Oh, those things run hot!
We're about to have more problems!
sender. Finally, got one.
Nice kill! I'm kind of jealous.
I am
get him.
trying to destroy
It'll be a slice!
with fervor.
Could be cool to see you try to beat Cluster Truck. I beat Cluster Truck. You just jelly. Get it, jelly, because I can jelly. I didn't see that one time. Because I just beat your times really fucking easily. Especially at last level. Easy, man. I was just really inventive. I knew the game inside out, and I used it to my advantage. Yeah, I beat Cluster Truck. I was really good at it. Got a great score. Great final score. Real good shit. Real good shit. Hey, I'm back. How you doing, dude? Thank you very much for being rude for the raid. How was the Final Fantasy?
Max, destroy. Feel my wrath.
On the ground, there we go.
All right, last leg.
Oh shit.
The explosive could be useful as cool.
Someone get rid of the Fizzle.
Oh shit. Get him, Drax.
Max, shut him down.
Fucking hell.
The Andros now.
Hurricane.
Come on, we got this.
Throw grenades. Stab.
Put him up, Gamora.
Like a hot knife!
Contain this one.
Take heed of the explosive, Peter Quill.
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Ah, fuck. From Joe's annoying Fizz. Facts. Psych work is not as important. That's very true. Well, by annoying, like trying to annoy me, you can be creating more psych work for yourself. So, you know, it works. No bad. You're gonna try to make some moves. Try to see if Beaver's Ryan has a mission back here. Okay, cool.
Not too late to call this off! Never!
It's more than a boom balls. Look, those things run hot.
You only delay the inevitable.
What is next, Peter Quill?
This, my fan. My fan? I was trying to say my fan and my friend. Alright. Yeah, get down, son. Get down. Whew. Still getting royalties from the monster machines doing great. Yeah, it really did. It really did.
We did it.
Years ago, and it's still
They
still very deep in my mind.
Bring me Nasha!
Everybody grab a
Dennis the
bite.
Menace's dog? Oh, yeah. Oh, I've got to do this on mouse and keyboard. Hopefully it's calm. Or we just get out and they skip to the next section. Either way, I'm going to eat a bit of shortbread. Yeah.
Wow, we made it out in one piece.
We still need to get out of here and fast.
Everybody strap in.
Now that was a ride.
There's no time to
I doubt that's the last
celebrate.
we've seen of
made an
her
awful
either.
mistake.
And
Just robbed
an
the shit
awful
out
amount
of
of cash.
There is no escaping Lady Hellbender's wrath.
We'll see about that.
What the?
Turn the ship upside down. Oh. Just take him into space. She just flew in space with him.
Your bones are mine, guardians of the galaxy.
Kinky. Why not?
She will hunt us to the end of the universe.
Who gives a scut? We got off that mudball with the money, didn't we?
Money that you forced us into stealing.
Yeah,
We
well,
got
what
it,
about
right?
that smash and grab on Satopia? I didn't hear you complaining then.
Lady Hellbender is
heard
not a
that.
bank.
Yeah, that's right. Because if she was, we'd have way more loot.
Whoa, 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 whoa. One problem at a time.
Lady Hellbender will seek her revenge. Mark my words.
Then she'll have to get in line. First, I gotta call Corral.
The sooner we get this fine paid, the better.
Yeah, so we can go back to focusing on being broke.
It's weird.
Is money all that you let
Um,
have,
My
I also
can
think
didn't
about
open properly.
bombs.
And booze.
I could spill it on myself.
Bombs made out of booze.
Nikki,
Oh, Nikki, what a pity you don't understand.
Really?
there's something wrong with the connection.
Did he twist the thingy?
Yeah, no dice. Nikki, is your mom around? I really need to talk to her.
I'm guessing she dead. In here.
Fight me.
Oh.
After you left, we went into the quarantine zone. I saw the board and there was dark fog.
Did you try narrowing the band?
First thing I tried, it's gotta be something else. I'm losing you, Nick. Can you put your mom
I
on?
knew you were my dad.
She is her mum now?
I didn't find the Raker said it was a miracle.
I think something has happened to the girl.
Yeah. It's called she's Nova Corps.
Can you fix it?
Can you fix it?
Yeah, yeah. Keep your stuff.
Can you fix it?
I'll go check the array.
Fix it.
I didn't even know that. I just have to.
You okay, Rocket?
Rocket!
I left the llama behind.
It chewed everything. The scut.
But I kept the weapons, not the llama.
I thought Corel confiscated
I was
the
gonna-
llama
yeah.
thingy.
Llama.
What did I say?
Who gives a flying scut? The gold domes didn't get rid of it, and now the array's fucked.
So we got to keep the. So by
I
choosing to get rid of the
promise
llama,
we'll
I
get
got to
it
keep the
fixed
llama
soon.
and keep the
Just like you promised to
supposedly
get your
expensive
girlfriend
stuff
to
to
go
fix the
easy
ship.
on us? Yeah. Okay.
Sick.
Hey, that's
That
not
worked out
fair.
well.
You know what isn't fair, Quill? Being the only one who actually seems to give a scut about the Milano. Look, guys.
Wow. Tense.
We need the dock
Tense.
to fix the array. Luckily, I know a guy on Nowhere has got the parts we need. And he can get rid of that Nova tracker cheap.
We cannot abandon the child. The behavior was erratic.
The llama thingy chewed the wires, Drax. It was probably just a bad connection. And if we remove the tracker, Corel will make sure the entire Nova Corps fleet is on alert for us.
Gamora's right. We made a promise. I made a promise. See if you can pinpoint where Corel is. We pay the fine.
Quill, are you freaking kidding me?
That way, we don't have to keep looking over our shoulders for Nova on the next job.
If there is a next job.
Yeah, we got enough money, right? Yeah, good stuff, Groot. New conversations available. The Assassin's Ring can now be discussed in Gamora's room.
Try to finish chewing through my ship, or else.
Space. Final Fantasy.
Hey, Groot! Is the chew
I'm
devil
done.
trying to chew on anything down
You've seen
there?
space once, you've seen it 1,000 times, you know what I mean?
Good. Keep it that way. Starting to think maybe it's just what it eats, you know? Yeah, the QZ would have been an open buffet for something that eats wires.
You alright, fam? Do you want to chat? I think I've already read this. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, in
Muscles?
blue, how you
Just
doing
about the
today?
array, too?
Oh, wow, I want to have a little swig.
I am pondering our latest mission.
I get you.
Tasty.
Finally get a win, but no, gotta give our cash to Nova Corps.
Yeah.
I do not consider Seknov 9 a successful heroic venture.
It's successful because we got the units, not because it was heroic.
Didn't you say the same thing after Satopia?
That one was a bit higher on the
Oh,
air.
it's proper trapped. You are.
Oh, nice! You made a cute little pen.
Yeah, so we still have that stuff that I can't access and hasn't done anything further. But you're at the movies right now, okay? Well, lovely to have you come by even more so. What movie are you watching? Although you probably should not be on your phone, I guess, but hopefully it's a dope one.
You didn't mean to chew up the comms, did you?
Aww.
Looks sturdy enough. You sure it'll be okay in there?
Okay. So about that group thing. Oh, I can't talk any more about it. Okay. Let's rock and roll. What's in there? Oh yeah, I don't actually know what this is. Just looking. Yep. Ah, okay, yep. I see the issue. Alright. Okay, so we're leaving Gamora's room for now. Drax not here? Okay.
Anyone in there? Rocket?
What? Can't you see I'm busy?
Oh, he's brushing
Is
his
that my
teeth.
toothbrush?
It fits in the small cracks.
Oh,
Small cracks of what?
Rocket, please!
Hold it in for a tick. I'm almost done.
Motherfucker. Hey, Dracula.
Penny for your thoughts?
What is a penny?
It's money. Like units. The saying means I'd pay to know what you're thinking.
We must use our currency to pay the Nova Corps fine, or we risk...
Drax. Just tell me what's up.
That's also a
I
colloquialism.
am realizing that I do not know as much as I thought I did. Our visit to Seknarf 9 was not what I expected.
Because Lady Hellbender isn't a giant?
She is definitely not. That is only part of it, Peter Quill. On our way to her fortress, I realized that many of my assumptions about this team have been incorrect as well.
Really?
The assassin
Yeah.
and the rodent. Without them and the tree fighting nobly beside us, we would not be alive right now.
Yeah.
I told you, they're not bad people just because they have a bad past. Life is complicated, Drax. Things are never simple.
On Katath, it was. I had a family that I cherished and a certainty about life that I no longer possess.
I'm sure you'll find it again. Just give it some time.
Ah, he's not gonna
I
find it
wonder
again.
what the future has in store for us.
Yeah.
More fighting!
Oh.
Perhaps next time we
Man,
should
there is
get a
no privacy
contract
on this
with
ship.
No
Like-
fighting involved.
What would you be good for then?
Dispatching enemies is not my own skill.
Oh, a little ring and shit. Alright.
Can I help you?
Oh.
Hey, Gamora! I was just admiring this super cool assassin ring I got from my favorite super cool assassin as a token of my, you know,
Token of what?
of my everlasting commitment to not being murdered by you.
It's gonna
Nice.
take more than a ring. It is really nice, though.
Yeah, it is.
How'd you know what kind of ring it is?
Oh,
he bought
let's just say you're not the first assassin to cross my path. Though I guess I should be glad no one ever sent the deadliest woman in the galaxy after me.
You know, that name is actually a misnomer. Everyone thinks I got it doing Thanos' dirty work. Before
Because of
You know,
politeness, Bakura.
I betrayed him.
Yeah.
In truth, I got it after I joined the Resistance, on a mission where nobody died.
You
It's
have
over.
to tell me about this resistance mission, especially if no one died.
I don't think it's a story you're gonna like,
Why?
Why not?
Yeah. No one died.
because it doesn't make Carell look very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing you have to understand is that it was the end of the war. The Resistance was losing. Bad. The Shatari knew it, Thanos knew it, we all knew it. But then, Thanos died.
Get
At
'em.
first, people thought it was a false report. Misinformation spread to lure the Resistance out into the open. But when it became clear that it might be true, Carell saw an opportunity.
Also, I am
An
vaping more
all or
again.
nothing
So that means
mission
we
that could
could
win
do
the
some
war
more
once
illusions
and for
again
all.
if anybody does
Final
want to see
attack
any.
on Shatari Prime. You're talking about the resistance stealth mission that kidnapped their infant queen.
Of course she
Except
is.
kidnapping the Queen wasn't part of Carell's original plan. The only reason she had me tag along was so that I would kill the Queen.
What? There's no way.
Is it so hard to believe? She was grieving. You know that. The Shatari had killed her husband, her little boy. She wanted
husband was her little
revenge,
boy?
and I was her chance to finally get it.
Grell would never put out a hit on a baby. She would never kill a kid.
Believe
No,
what you
she
want.
got assassins too.
But she's not who she was back then. None of us are. Something changed. Maybe it was having Nikki.
Maybe.
Either way,
Hey, Nikki.
I refused and we
Hey,
won the
Nikki.
war without killing anyone else. And for reasons I
It's
don't
heating up
fully
in here. I might have to get the
understand,
fan out in a minute.
I became known as the deadliest woman in the galaxy afterward.
So, tell me about betraying Thanos.
What did cause you to betray Thanos? I mean, he adopted you when you were like...
5. He basically raised us, taught us everything we know.
So what finally did it? What snapped you out of it?
I found the resistance.
What?
Thanos was obsessed. He had me and Nebula combing the
Each other's
galaxy
hair.
for their location
Oh.
for cycles. Each of us determined to be the first to find them and report back. So when I found them first, I was so excited
Yeah,
to tell him.
imagine.
I got home,
Papa!
and
Or
I found
grandpapa,
him talking to an
depending on the
empty
canon
room,
they're going with.
to someone called
Hey!
Lady Death.
Maybe we are
That's
going more of
not
the
ominous.
comic canon. Because
I
Thanos
truly thought he loved us
did the click and shit for Lady Death
in his
to
own
prove his worth
twisted way.
in the comics.
But Thanos didn't want to restore balance to the galaxy. He was just in love with death, literally in love. And he would kill all of us, including me, including Nebula, to prove it.
Oh, shows how much he was in love.
You couldn't let him.
No.
Because you were jealous,
So
jeez.
instead of telling him where to find the resistance, I joined them.
I kind of don't know what to say.
There's nothing to say. After the Galactic War ended, I moved on. And now I'm here, doing all this fun stuff with you guys.
And I wouldn't
you
have
are.
it any other way. But seriously, thank you for sharing that with me.
Sure.
No whackers. Right. Yep, just leave me in your bedroom.
You are right to be worried about the broken communications array, Rodent. A potential client might contact us and find our messaging system unavailable.
Make it fast, Quill. I still got that array to repair.
Okay. I don't know if I can upgrade anything. I'm going to check on you for a second.
Can we talk for a second?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk. What you said before Seknarf about me giving a lot to the team and you making it up to me. You mean it?
Every word.
Then how come when I tell you how to get out of this easy, you ditch my advice and you roll over for Nova Corps?
Rocket, please. Just because I don't always take your advice doesn't mean I don't listen to you. We're a team. Everybody's got an opinion.
Still don't
So
know how
you'd
he kept the
rather
llama off,
listen
though.
to
They
Gamora.
did take it off us because they
Gamora?
find us. That's why we have to pay the money.
Knows her stuff, man. She's the navigator. She navigates the stars and planets and comets.
She navigates comets.
Sometimes. And Groot is our special vegetation specialist. His opinion's valid too.
And Drax, what makes him so great?
He's tactical. Tactics. The man is such a tactician.
And then there's me, the guy who gets mad and starts shooting up the place instead of following the plan.
Come on. You're a valued member of this team. We started this together. Now we need to make something profitable of it. Something lasting. We could go to nowhere like you suggested. But if we don't pay that fine, Nova Corps will come for us. How do we make money then?
Maybe paying our fine makes some sense.
Exactly. So let's just get it over with and move on. Right?
We'll
it makes
see.
sense.
There. Happy now? I hope you ain't just browsing.
Maybe. I don't know if we can actually upgrade. Probably not. Oh, no, we can. Alright. So, charge shot, charge consumption, consumerless charge when firing element guns. That could be good. Low life buff, fire rate doubled when your health drop below 25%. Suit extra shield. Locate crafting components via tracking feedback and additional fire support. Shield restoration delay. Generate shield points more quickly. And extra health. Don't know that one. Boots. Slow time briefly when dodging at the last second. Super Quill Punch. Drop additional health packs when landing lethal blow. Okay. 44 prone by dashing. So we might be able to get 2 potentially. Okay. Consume less charge when firing the element guns. I think that's a good one because we have had to use that quite a while. Oh.
Ding, ding,
Boom,
done.
baby. And then finding more components. I can dig it.
One shiny upgrade, nice and cracked. This work is worth more than you're worth, Quill.
Get him. Oh. Okay, sweet. Okay. Band meeting.
Gamora, did you find... Are those dolls?
Yes. No. Doesn't matter.
Hey, enjoy what you enjoy.
The
I just don't see how
household's
Amazon are
radio
going to get
system.
delivered up here.
Coordinates are in your console.
Alright, nice one. Let me give you some chatting.
So, why'd you close the view screen?
None of your business.
Isn't it though? Sounds like you're trying to hide something from us.
Yes, I am.
Hate to
She's wearing, like,
disappoint, but I saw everything.
shoes type thing.
Didn't really peg you as a doll collector. And yes, I value my life.
Peter, I'm not gonna kill you for asking about my collection.
That's good, because last time...
So what if I collect them? A lot of people have hobbies. Groot collects plants. Rocket's obsessed with bombs.
Yeah, and Drax has a lot
Are
of...
we meant to be moving through space?
really
I can see like
scary-looking knives.
wind motion,
See?
but it doesn't really
Nothing
feel
out of
like
the
we're moving.
ordinary.
I guess.
Mainly because the stars are static.
You know, as a kid, I collected stuff too. Baseball cards, action figures...
You think collections are childish?
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm messing with you, Peter. I don't care what you think. I'd just rather keep my hobbies to myself.
So those chairs look pretty comfy, but they need some armrests, man. Look at that. Armrest and maybe a drinks holder
Time's ticking
would
away,
go.
Peter.
Alright, I'm talking about drinks holders and stuff. Jeez.
Corral is probably monitoring this ship, waiting to see if we
Yeah,
make
this
the right
space very
choice.
much just feels like there's a dome around us and it's painted with stars. Alright, let's go.
You made the right call.
Yeah?
Okay, Corel, get ready to be impressed.
Rocket's idea wasn't necessarily bad, but we need to pay off Nova Corps to avoid hassles later.
Although she's been absorbed into her daughter or some shit. Hey, Mojo baby! How you doing, gays? Meep meep.
Equalizing interior pressure with
Looks
exterior
Looks like your girlfriend held up.
It kind of works in this
bar
game
call.
still, don't it? We're in a
You
little
know for
shippy.
sure it's her.
Checking. Same designation as before. It's definitely Hallis Hope.
But is anyone in it? It's just parked up in a rock. Doing swell, dude. Doing swell. Just guarding the guarding the galaxy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
What are they doing to my ship?
Relax, standard Nova Corps procedure. My ship's fine.
Which part?
Ask Quill. He's the one who keeps crashing.
Get him. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't seem very
All right,
smooth.
let's pay that
Could have got
fine.
whiplash. Oh, you still getting those giant moths in your room, Mojo?
So, after
Those
we
looked
get out of here,
brutal.
You
They're
mean
massive.
if we get out of here?
I've been seeing
I
lots
know
of
someone who
butterflies,
could set us up
like
with
outside,
a
but
relatively
not those
lucrative
giant ass
contract.
moths. Is that like
I
Manchester
will not
Canal
assassinate
specials?
anyone.
Is that what
I
happens
ain't
when
sneaking
like
around no
moths
rich
have
Flarker's
spice?
mansion
They
to
just grow
poison
into
his dinner or
massive
something.
thingies.
I was going to explain how we could land a cattle herding contract with our llama
We need to get that
experience.
fixed, man.
Absolutely not.
Llama. Can we not give the llama? Like, shouldn't we be hiding the llama?
Rocket'll come around. Just try not to eat anything else, okay?
Yeah, llama.
Ready to pay our fine?
Even Groot can see you're here for some blueberry pie.
Oi, yeah. Had I just two, but praying hard I
We're
don't get
looking
more.
for a
Oh, and
future
hopefully they
endeavor.
didn't have
I
babies.
still wish to battle the great Fin Fang Foom.
Looking at all the shapes of praying.
sell
No,
it to who?
paranoid now that I
Lady
can imagine,
Hellbender
dude.
wants to
How
skin
horrible.
us.
Well, this is the thing, Bakura, right? So like, I chose to give up the llama and keep the parts, the supposed expensive parts for the ship, that were like illegal as well.
Good question.
But then,
Hey,
like,
Gamora,
they had it
you've
that
been in a
apparently we did
Novacore
store
station.
him somewhere
They got
else, and he
public
ate through
restrooms?
cables.
We have a
But we're
toilet
still
right
being
here,
fined
Groot.
for him. In fact, we're going to pay the fine for him now. But they haven't taken him off us, then why are we still
He
being
can
fined? They
bend.
can't prove we had it.
I know there's some reason we're doing
I think
this,
it's a bit of
but I
bad
still
story
wanna
writing
go
on
record that
this
I don't
game's
wanna
part,
be
if I'm being
here,
honest.
and that
Like,
being here is a
I chose
mistake.
not to have the llama, and although I regret it, and my title says so, they've now just given it back to me anyway. So, I mean, I made the right call by getting rid of the llama because I got it back anyway, but
Wanna bet on who can flip off the most officers?
like they
before
obviously needed
catch
the llama
us?
for the story and
Not
banked
in
on
the
people
mood.
just keeping the llama.
Okay.
And I think the
thought you'd
expensive
like that.
parts didn't lead anywhere as well. Because, like, yeah, we had the expensive parts, and I was like, well, we sell the expensive parts and then we can pay the fine. But that's not been an option.
You ever been to the Rock before?
Yeah, looks like every other Novacore station.
Alright, no need to shout right
Any
next to each
chance
other.
you know how to get around this place?
You don't get around. You're either brought in or you stick to the reception desk.
Alright, no need to shout. I mean, I don't need to say that more than twice,
This
right?
reminds me of when I surrendered to the authorities.
Oh.
What was it like?
Liberating.
Something tells me we'll be out of here faster than your prison sentence.
Depends if you still plan on mating with Centurion Ko-Rel.
Well, I think she's inside her daughter now, so it's probably not going to be on the cards.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, those parts were for the ship, but like he said, a lot of them were really expensive and stuff, so I was like, we could sell them. And we haven't
so
used them
much
for the
as
ship,
scratched
so
her paint,
like hasn't
we
given me the
get
option to
Novacore to
upgrade my
reduce
ship.
our fine.
Our ship is broken, and we're not
Good luck
using
with
those
that.
bits
Gross
necessarily now.
negligee.
Negligence.
That's what I said.
Where is everybody?
Most
Oh,
Nova
dead Jim.
stations are heavily automated, all synchronized by the world mind.
It is unsettling.
Not like they had much choice
Let me
after
run.
the war. Too many
There we go.
seats, not enough butts.
Seems more efficient this way anyway.
dance floor.
Sure, till the world might see, suddenly you got no life support.
That is a precarious system.
M ship. Designation Milano. Move to holding
whoa,
space
whoa! Get back here with my ship!
R734PL.
My ship.
Present validated ticket to kiosk
What
prior to
ticket?
departure.
How the flark are we supposed to get off this rock?
Relax, Rocket. It's standard procedure.
You keep saying that.
This isn't exactly my first Novacore fine. Yours either.
First time I'm paying one. Flarkin knew I should have stayed on board.
It's not. It's my ship. Everyone keeps saying the station. It's my ship.
Coming, Rocket?
Yeah.
Womp womp. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Oh, some more. Very nice. Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Rock, anyway.
It is factually accurate.
Would you believe the name's got nothing to do with it being on a giant rock?
I would not.
Can I not scan
Why
that?
is it called that?
No idea. That's just what I heard.
I found the door, guys, but I can't get to it, so we're gonna have to go through this open one.
Okay, it's not supposed to be this empty.
Oh shit, going down.
Is it a holiday?
Space cops don't take holidays.
There's a
Hello?
hello.
We're here to pay a fine. Looking for Centurion Corral?
Well, if they're dead, can we spend this money on cool shit?
Door's locked.
Because we did just
Well,
rob
we tried.
Hell
Come on,
Lady or
let's
whatever her
go.
name was, Lady
We're
Hell.
not leaving.
Hell-lander?
We'll go to them if we have to.
Helena?
Look,
Oh.
the door controls are on the other side if we can get you there.
So what? Now I'm supposed to hack Novacore security?
No,
I
no.
mean, if you don't think you can,
Cheap shot, Quill.
We are discussing breaking into a Novacore facility.
It ain't breaking in if no one's here.
That is precisely when one would break in.
Alright.
Odd.
What are you saying?
what is? I mean, besides all of
So
this.
hot with the oven on?
There's
oh yeah, I
nothing.
can imagine,
Not
dude.
even a welcome screen.
It's salad time.
is on,
it's time of the
right?
year where it's
They're
just
always
cold
on.
shit.
Constant connection to the world mind. That's the point.
You're the point.
This one's been severed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Nova's tech ain't that fancy. Don't expect me to hijack the world mind or anything, but I can handle some low-level security.
Thirsty, big guy?
This machine appears to be inoperable.
Maybe they're just all out of your flavor.
Yeah. Can we just shoot it?
I don't like this. We really do need to get that door open.
Any chance they're all just on break?
Groot says the kiosk still says open. I say it ain't our problem.
Isn't it? Alright. Let me go to the big door.
Yep, it's locked.
Alright, let's
Thanks
go
for
to the
taking
open
my
door.
work.
Alright. There's a few things now. Alright, well. What's it saying?
Shut your mouth. We're supposed to be leaving.
What?
Groot says there's an air duct in the room with the controls.
Can I
If there's
not
one
touch
on
that?
this side,
Why is that
I
on the
may
floor?
be able to get through.
Okay.
Hey, Drax, get me a can of Power Star, would you?
That
The
was
machine
gonna help.
is inoperable. I'm not in the habit of lending units.
I never said I'd take you back.
Oh, there we go. Sweet. Just have to shoot the shit out of it.
One open air duct.
Thanks, Rocket.
All right, Rocket. See if this vent leads into that other room. And be careful.
You know, I still don't love this whole pay or fine plan, but I gotta say, messing with some Nova Cortec ain't a bad consolation prize.
You know?
There's something screwy with the power grid. It's like they're on backup only. I'm syncing the schematic to your visor.
You could do this the whole time?
Follow the circuits and let me know which junctions to switch. We'll have to pick and choose where we reroute power.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Prepare to be amazed.
I do not care to think of how many monsters we will need to sell to pay off this fine.
We're in plain view of security and no one's come running.
Okay.
I guess they're not watching.
That's a door.
The wrong door.
Still, progress.
Yeah, might be stuff in here, isn't it?
Hey, it's a bathroom. Anybody gotta go?
Oh, and a new costume. Nova Corp's outfit. Alright. Put him in this Nova Corps outfit. Pretty sure I got a Nova Corps outfit for him too. Social Lord. Standard Lord. Social Lord. Okay, this is more like can we go in the loo? Oh, you can't even go in the loo. What a fucked up world.
Perhaps this is a test to see if we will respect the bureaucratic process.
Well, newsflash, I don't. And if they want their money, they better hurry up and come and take it. You gold domes hear me?
Hey, that sort of worked.
Closing!
Find a way to power both circuits leading to the door.
Oh, I wanted a drink. I was gonna give it to Drax.
We'll find out. Ow! Flarkin' Nova Scott!
Flark, Peter!
You said the connection was down. I thought it might help. Presto!
Yeah, so you're welcome. Jeez.
Ta-da!
That is no more clear. It is conspicuously silent.
Good point.
Two can play that game. Or three. What are they doing?
Scanning each other. Flarked if I know why, though. They're acting bonkers.
Hello? There! You hear that? Someone out there! You guys hear that? Oh, poor little guy.
It is a thing. Your sympathies are redundant.
Hey, I'm half thing, remember?
I did not.
Man, this place is big.
What'd you expect?
I guess he's in there.
It's too quiet.
So we're just gonna ignore all that racket?
We don't need to get dragged into someone else's problems right now. Now, this place brings back memories.
Did you once serve with the Nova Corps, Peter Quill?
What? No!
Maybe I should
But
let him
I
out,
had to
but
stand in a lineup once.
I will at some point.
Maybe twice. Anyway, good to be on this side of the glass.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a little.
1, 1, 1, 1. Nope.
Maybe I should let that
4,
dude
3,
out.
2, 1.
I don't know if this is where the mission's going to be or not.
How about this? Clark.
We are here only to pay our fine.
What are you doing?
I figured as long as we're here, I may as well try and dig up some juicy Nova secrets. Maybe they even got a bead on Gamora's bluer half.
Not likely.
What's that?
Nothing.
Perhaps a deadly assassin infiltrated the facility.
Don't look at me.
I was not.
Okay, this seems to carry on quite a lot. I'm going to go back to that matey who was in the room. I can't remember.
Where the hell has everybody gone?
Hey there.
I'm wearing my Nova costume.
Come on, we got to talk.
You alright?
Hey, jumpsuit. You gotta get me out of here. I don't belong in a cage. Come on, you're Terran, right? Me too. We gotta look out for each other.
What do you know about whatever's going on here?
Not much. There was a commotion. People were talking about some mother, and then they just left.
Corel? Did you see a Centurion or a little Kree girl?
That's all I know. Come on, I helped you. Time to help me. Look for a door release or
You
something.
barely did anything to help me. Alright, I'll let you out. I'm gonna murder him.
Oh, hey!
Sorry, buddy. Oh, shit.
There's something bothering me.
You mean besides all of this?
Station lost the connection to the world mine. Wouldn't stand up.
I didn't kill that poor man. I mean, he seemed like he was a criminal of sorts, but...
Maybe they just ain't got here yet.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey! Oh, what now? I got rights!
Uh-oh.
I'm getting a real haunted mansion vibe from this place.
And none of that screams run away to you? Elevator's out.
But the shaft above looks open. We can use it to climb up there.
You expect us to walk on that thing?
It'll hold more than the 5 of us.
Alright. Well, if she says it holds us.
Please don't fall, please don't fall. Oh, crap! Okay. Piece of cake.
Yeah, easy. Oh.
Ooh, spooky. Hello?
I don't think... I mean, you should definitely get XP for scanning this stuff. Maybe I should just stop scanning this stuff.
A bunch of babies. Oh, you were too.
Are these?
Centurion armor!
Yup. Feel free to try one on, Quill.
A true warrior
do wanna try
requires
one on.
no armor.
You wouldn't fit in one anyway.
For real? Can I try one?
If you want to get fried to a puddle of goo, each one is gene-coded by the World Mine.
Are you saying the world mine has the genetic code of every Nova Centurion?
Yup. Word is, the bugs tried to use that against them in the war. But that's one supercomputer you can't hack. Ah, no wonder the door's so torqued out.
Easy.
Alright, let's hope that holds.
Ooh, super suit.
How come this one gets its own room?
Looks like a workshop. You know, I hear they anodize these things with some kind of
I should
Zendarian
definitely
smart
try
metal.
this one on.
Metal cannot be smart.
Smarter than some.
Get him.
This room is austerely presented. It must be a great honor to become a Centurion.
Subcutaneous emitter is busted. Whatever that is. That means something to you?
Maybe. Means it can't report back to the World Mine.
That checks out with what I saw in the lobby.
Give me a tick. I'll be right there.
Good thing their workbench is perfectly fine. Although I'm pretty sure we can't upgrade anything at the moment. I think 600 is the minimum. Well, apparently not. I can do that with 400. Alright, well, you know, we're accessing it here. We may as well crack on.
Got you covered.
Lovely jubbly.
Now that was some quality crafting, if I might say so myself.
Is this the way we came in? No. Okay. Hey, Gamora, you alright? Why are you standing over there?
30,000. What? Units. For one of them suits. More nothing.
There's gotta be an explanation.
You heard that guy. They just left. And so should we.
He also said something about Corel.
He said mother. Everyone's got a mother, Quill.
You do not.
Get him.
Point is, mother could be anyone.
Except you.
Okay. Can I uppercut? No. There we go.
Rocket, do your magic.
No.
What?
I said no. When are you gonna come to your senses, Quill? I am Groot. And then what? He's gonna drag us halfway through this station if we let him.
Well, can we at least find a computer where we can wipe off our debt? That's what. You're not gonna help.
Gamora, help me out here.
I don't know. He's got a point, Peter. How far do we go before we just call it?
When we find someone. They can't all be gone.
Right.
Drax, think you could pry the door open?
Not without purchase. Perhaps you should negotiate with the rodent.
Groot, would you talk to him?
No.
We tried.
Okay. We try one more room, and if we still haven't found anything, we leave. Deal?
Fine. One more room. Not two. One.
Unless we find something very interesting.
Door's flarked. We ain't going back that way.
Oh. So we might have to get them to do
The
more than
Nova
one
Corps had
room.
more shifts.
I heard they got staffing issues.
From who?
People in places with other people.
Peter Quill. I found this.
Ah!
Sector 1, check in.
Nice having
Sector
it.
1, sweep complete. 75% acceptance rate. It is as she promised. Have faith. The promise will be made real. Proceed to Sector 7. With faith.
Well, the good news is we're not alone. There's lots of chatter.
Tell them I want my ship back.
My ship.
I sense there's a bet.
But it sounds like they're searching for something or someone.
Could explain why no one's around.
Who gives a fuck? Tell them to get their golden butts up here.
The promise will be made real. Proceed to Sector 7. With faith. Sector 3.
Let's sneak up on them.
Let's keep looking.
Or we could focus on getting off this fracactus space
Yeah.
station.
The door's flarked, remember?
There's ways to inflark things, Gamora. Believe me.
Bombs don't count.
What about that? Where do you think that goes?
Down.
Good enough for me.
Alright, well, let me see if there's any loot.
Hey, what happened to one more room?
Here, get him.
You said the door's busted. I'm sure it's just a little further.
You ain't sure as scut.
I'm mostly sure. We found something, didn't we?
So why the flark? Didn't you speak up?
It was weird. There was something funky about the voices on that comm channel.
Alright, let's go.
There they all are.
Something's not right.
Oh, Flar.
Oh, shit. Oh, they were possessed.
Ugh, this is a mutiny.
Was an execution.
I ain't never seen cops kill each other.
We've got to play this smart until we know what's going on.
And which side survived?
Let's kill them all. Probably the safest option at this point.
Everyone stiffen up and follow me.
There's something off about them. Look!
They're flarking glowing. Seems a safe bet these are the bad guys. Let them have
We need a plan.
There's the plan.
This quote reminds
Oh
me
shit.
of when I was hunted by albatross. I never stopped quarreling with that. Light him up, Rocket!
Oh shit.
Tie it down! I ain't gonna let us hope they're not all killed. Big guy, 12 o'clock!
Wow.
Current time is irrelevant. Bear, kill, now! Ah, that is much more informative. Those who resist must return.
Looks like we caught them with their pants down.
I ain't above shooting them in the back. Put him down! Tell you, Drax! Make your peace! That they weren't expecting company, Drax!
Let's finish this before they can sound the alarm.
That floating mine guy is really starting to pick me off! I agree!
Oh shit.
The electric wielding woman
Smackdown,
must
bitch.
next. Finally! Sick of those dashed mines!
Sweet. Stay down, bitch. Oh shit.
Make them turn on each other!
It's got to be related to why they're growing.
Bring them up, Groot! Rocket! Blast them!
You don't get. Why did we find them here?
I ain't interested in the Flark and mystery! He has been silenced! That's right, big guy! Show him who's boss!
Oh, he kicked me. What a bitch. Oh, sweet. I don't do much meleeing, but that was a pretty cool drop kick.
At least we got the jump on them! Their carelessness will be their downfall! If it weren't for that fancy pants Nova Core, I swear! I agree! The electric-wielding foreman must perish next!
I thought you'd never ask.
Where is it? Throw that, Drax! The assassin has sent out
Jesus.
the large one's equipment!
Oh, I keep running into things. Oh shit.
Hang tight! What's with that weird glow?
Oh, I'm trying, but I'm dying.
I got him. Save your nice words for later, Quill. Let me at him. Bombs won't do sky.
Oh, fucking drone motherfuckers.
I didn't know point mutiny. I shall enjoy their betrayal. Disgrace.
I was actually trying to help Gamora there, but it also was the commands that I needed for that.
Let's do this. Show him some muscle. With pleasure. Just look at him. Fair below. I did not expect that I would again quarrel with Nova Corps. I don't think we count as Nova Corps anymore.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Oh, hello mate, I didn't see you there. Sorry, my bad. Alright, let's have a little team chat.
Yo, Muscles! You blind or something? Me and I see perfectly well, Abomination, and you two are getting in the way of my victory. Us? You're the ones screwing up our fun. Me and Groot stand a better chance of winning this on our own.
Fair enough.
Whoa, dudes! You guys are totally out of tune with each other. Because you're focusing on the wrong thing. Fun doesn't come from flying solo. It comes from shredding them up in perfect harmony together. Who's with me?
Feel this!
Feel the rhythm, feel the vibe, get on down, it's Guardians time!
Pounds that they weren't expecting company! Through the playful now, Rocket! Now's your chance, Gamora!
Feel this? Looks like we caught them with their pants down.
Go wild!
Make your man!
I was doing this!
You disgrace the uniform you wear!
Let's just hope none has Centurion armor!
They don't.
I do not think our fine will be paid today.
You don't say.
We'll just save on to the money until we can.
Guys, Corell's ship is right there. We just need to...
What? What do we need to do, Quill? A whole bunch of whacked out space cops just tried to vaporize us, and you want to go looking for a rematch? So your girlfriend might be in trouble?
That's not what I'm doing, and she's not my girlfriend.
Could have fooled me.
Rocket! The only thing that this is about is getting our ship back. We find Corell, and then none of this is our problem.
Also,
You're
Bax,
right.
what are you having for dinner
It
tonight,
won't be
my
our
man?
problem anymore. Because we didn't sign up to be run around halfway across the galaxy by a cop-loving human!
Come on!
Uh-oh.
Seriously, Corell?
Join the Guardian, she said. It'll be good for your mental health, she said.
All right. Listen to Flark up. Groot and I are getting off the Stashed Rock. Anyone who'd like a ride can follow us. Everyone else can go to hell.
Wow, Rocket. I mean, you're getting a bit tetchy, bro.
I prefer the rodents plan.
But we've got more to loot.
Is there...
Oh, what? You didn't want to finish that sentence?
There could be survivors aboard. Or more of those... whatever their deal is.
Rocket, come on!
You come on! I told you we should have left.
What's all that
And
stuff?
we
Just
are!
broken
I'm
bits?
on board. Let's find the Milano and...
Intruders reported in the repair bay.
And try not to die in the process.
First sensible thing you said all cycle.
All must see. All
You don't
will
think this sort of
believe.
thing is happening at Nova stations everywhere?
That's what they get for being jacked into an intersystem network.
We're in their
Or maybe
clothes
what
now, so
happens when one gets
we
disconnected
should at
from
least
it.
try and, like, you know, be chill to them.
Intruders in sea junction.
It's like we're fighting our way out.
Chop them up!
Cut to the chase! So much for a deserted station!
These halls will soon be deserted.
Let loose, Rocket!
Those corners ain't really my thing.
You must leverage your claws, rodent!
Rush of Drax!
Hey, Drax! Save some door
This
for the
one
rest of us!
hurts!
Too early, shit.
Watch your corners!
I do not have corners!
Let's see those branches! Any idea where we're going, Rocket?
Oh, don't you start.
I'm just asking!
Up! We came down an elevator.
Okay.
We're gonna need
Oh,
to
hello.
go up one to get back to the
Oh, I haven't
hangar.
scanned you yet, bro. Hang on. Let me scan you, bro. Point to attacking in groups. Alright.
One more room.
Seems you can even, it seems even you can summon people to my plans. Oh, can't. Ah.
So much for a deserted station!
Because people knew it was a lie.
This has got my name on it!
Is it? Because it looks like Drax is doing it.
This dazed fool will no longer sully the Nova Corps!
Had to be done! Another down!
Sharpest blade in the galaxy! Moves away, Rocket!
What's in there?
I don't know what's wrong with it. They just keep coming.
Guess they know we're here now!
There will be none left to alert the others!
Son of a bitch.
You'll struggle in vain!
Watch your corners!
I missed when the place was deserted!
Okay. Rain. Oh, yeah.
Blow something up, Rocket! You'll feel better!
Flash it, Gamora!
Get the point?
Little crowded in here!
I just got turned around.
So much for our deserted station!
I knew they didn't just disappear!
Hit on his level! He's gone long before I got to him.
Oh, son of a bitch. Oh shit.
Not exactly top 5! You're welcome!
I will enjoy this!
Watch your corners!
I do not have corners!
Whee! Sliding into action. Alright. In it. Okay. So, Starlord needs a rapid fire blaster shot, dealing heavy damage first. Okay, that could be good. Toss a grenade at enemy, drawn others towards the initial target's position and grouping them for a follow-up attack. Okay. I can't get that one yet. Drax charges forwards, deal a moderate stagger to all enemies in a line. Oh, that's pretty cool. He bowls them over and shit. Gamora dashes between each, striking each one once and deal a moderate for only one enemy's potential attack it several times. I might go for that one actually. Then she can like get multiple people at once. Kushti. Do we have any outfits for you yet? We don't. Shit, sorry girl.
For now, at least. Let's not wait around.
Jeez, this is not where I thought this day was going. Hey, you said we needed to go up, right?
More up than this, but it's a start.
Never thought I'd be fighting Novacore again.
Costume.
No longer Novacore.
Yeah, this don't count.
But who?
I keep getting them for like, I've got like 2 new costumes for Drax. Haven't found a single one for Gamora. I've got 1 extra costume for me, 1 extra costume for him, 2 extra here. But we might as well all rock the Nova Corps while we're in here. That means I've probably missed, well, these freeze Nova Corps. This is a different Nova Corps.
Who or what
thing,
are they?
right?
What's with that glowing?
For once, let's keep our noses out of it. Hey, we can get through here. You'll fit. Just suck it in.
What is the beeping though? You probably should know what was beeping, right?
Maybe Carell took her ship back to Xandar to report. Look!
Are they praying?
Oh.
What the hell have we wandered into?
Ah, but when we get there to scan.
Guy. Don't look like no Nova to me.
What the fuck is that?
Behold the magic flowing from the altar.
There's no such thing as magic, right?
Come on, let's get moving before these whack
Can't
drops
tell if it's
spot
still
us.
raining. I think it might have stopped already.
It's like we stumbled on some creepy cult.
I told you.
Blame
it
you
ain't
on the
our
ground. Just
problem.
submitted your performance review to Twitch. So nice. Phil needs to warn you. I didn't hold back my opinions. Good. Good glowing opinions. Nice. Cheers, Carl. Still raining. Okay. Good. I feel good. I feel
should
good. Yes,
probably
wonderful.
tell
Good.
someone.
Every time I
Yeah,
come into
tell
the
it
dance,
to
we
your
have to listen to
diary.
the band
Come on, down
in my
here.
neighborhood.
How do you know?
I don't. I'm just putting distance between us and those
I
whack
thought I saw
jobs.
something yellow behind there, but clearly not.
This door's locked.
I said down here.
I know. There's blatantly some stuff I can blow up here, right? Alright.
Good of you to join us.
What's the harm in checking?
What's the harm? Oh, let's just pay our fine. Let's just look around. Let's just stumble onto a Flarkin cult mutiny.
Rocket's pretty good in this. Actually, I mean, they've done all of the characters pretty well
This
in this
is
so far.
his fault. In fact, I'm done talking to him.
To who?
You!
Too late.
Groot, tell Mr. One more room, him and me are done.
Oh, great.
Fine. Quill, Groot says you and me are done.
So, you think?
Yeah, I'll deal with the door. Someone's gotta get us out of here.
Come on in. Come. Oh, fucking shit. Oh shit.
Purge the faithless! Larkin Scott! Can nothing go easy? Perhaps the sorcerer imbued them with special powers!
Hey,
Don't be
V-Drax.
so superstitious! Well, killing movie bombs now! Music to my ears!
Motherfucker.
Don't blame me! Blame
Don't want to watch that space cop!
Quill's killing loopy cops now. Music to my ears.
Cut to pieces! Stay clear of the line!
Guys. Wasn't sure if they were going to be in my range. Ah, motherfucking lines. She did say stay clear of them, to her credit. Hello.
These bombs are making things way too crowded!
Yeah, you might want to dodge those next time.
I'm trying.
Heads up! He's got mine!
Where's this nerd? Over there.
That is physically impossible! The electrifying enchanter spells irritate me!
Now, Gamora!
I see it!
Finally! Sick of those blasted mines!
How about you guys just go back and play?
Let them trade for death!
Get him. Oh, bloody hell. Fucking hell. Yeah, I know.
Finally! Watch my
Lay the smackdown on you candy ass.
You sure you can get it open?
You gonna second guess me every step of the way?
I'm not!
There, let's go.
I wasn't second guessing, I'm just...
Sure.
Yeah, they use some pretty controversial
Come on,
language in
Rock,
this, you know,
You can't
so.
stay mad at me.
These doors have been barricaded. Means someone at least tried to resist.
Bad lot of good it did 'em.
We don't know that. There could still be others on the station. Or maybe those were the survivors who fled on the Hallows Hope.
Is that?
Let's just pretend we didn't see that.
Well, I didn't see
So
it.
let's flark and go already.
Oh, that was the prisoner. Should have let him be.
Sweep Sector 7. The intruders must be found.
I knew this was a bad idea. Saw it coming a parsec away.
Is it?
You foresaw mutiny of the entire station.
I knew something would go wrong.
Alright, hangar, here we come.
What the flark was that docking number?
R73-4 PL.
Are you serious?
Good memory.
Always.
You're my new favorite person, Muscles.
I'm Groot.
No, not really. There she is.
There she
Come to
blows.
Papa. 4 PL, done. All right,
You can start
bay's
typing.
clear, extending catwalks, and Flark.
What's up?
The clamps won't release. Those whack clamps must have triggered a lockdown.
Can you override it?
Why don't we just go
Wouldn't be
kill that
much of a
massive
lockdown if I could.
shaman?
I can hold her in position and get the engines warmed up, but you're gonna have to release those clamps manually.
Alright, release the clamps and don't die.
Always with the clamps, man. Always with the clamps.
All faithful, converge on the central
Let us
hangar.
deal with these
None
rebels.
can escape
Focus on
our
the
light.
clamp feeder! We'll try to keep them off you!
What I gotta do? Shoot these or what?
Are you making progress?
Doing my best here. How exactly do we release these things?
What am I, a user's manual? Just shoot the Flark in face!
Try to keep them off Peter!
It's good. I'm good.
I don't feel like shooting them's doing too much, you know?
Those clamps are cold-rolled iridium, but they should be weak at the joint.
Drax, come on, bro.
Try to keep them from swarming!
I thought that was your job.
Gotta do everything myself.
Hey, Rocket!
Spot
You
where
get
they
some
clamp
food
together
from
and
Milano.
shoot!
One down.
I'm ready! Just find me an opening!
Alright. Could kill him?
Got this one.
This is how it's done!
Peter Quill, Unleash me onto these fools!
There's another one!
Alright.
And another one.
Into the Milano system.
Where's my tunes?
I got your scudding terror music.
We've got more incoming!
That's it. Some fight music. Yeah.
See? I knew it'd grow on you!
Oh, I didn't mean to do this shit. But I suppose we could do, so that's fine. I keep pressing R to reload. That's not
What are we waiting for? These blades are thirsty!
Mine too. I want to run in there right now and do some serious damage, Peter.
Got him.
This bloodlust you feel, it makes things unreal. And it'll get you killed if you don't control it. Which is why we don't rush in. We take our time and we bring them down. Who's with me?
I am with you, Peter Quill!
Fuck that shit up, son.
Let's get these engines moving.
Plot a course while you're at it if you can.
Oh, hello.
Fizzle!
I have to admit, the music makes it better.
Can't hear no music
I
no
would
more.
have preferred a traditional Katapian song!
Took down one of the Novacore nut jobs!
Way to knock some sense into never see it coming.
That's a pretty good kick.
Time to shred them!
Time's up.
This glow is oddly beautiful!
Still wish we knew what it was.
I've got to destroy more clamps. I should go do that, right?
Almost there, team!
The best is yet to
Where the
come!
fuck are the rest of the clamps there? Oh, over there. Shit.
They will be sorely disappointed!
Oh, hello. Drax, look up, buddy.
Let's get these engines.
And turn up the music!
I don't hear no music right now.
I would wager we have avenged the fallen Novacore!
Well, don't stop now.
Stop him short, Groot!
I have to admit, the music makes it better.
Shut up, Gamora, there's no music. So where are the rest of the clamps? Oh, those two.
This glow is oddly beautiful!
It's creepy is what it is!
Engines are hot. Seat warmers warming.
There we go.
I got her.
Careful!
You want to do it!
Get ready. Now.
Wow.
Move!
I know, right? This music really makes the fight better. I used to be an avid reader. Alright. Well, probably don't have to worry about our debt anymore then, right?
Now what?
We should set course for Contraxia.
Still got black box
There
in
are
your
issues
car?
over a cold catastrophe.
I don't hate it, but
I don't think I've ever had black box in my car.
we should report what we saw first.
Pretty sure you used to be an avid
right?
reader, right? I used to be an avid reader.
Because that's our biggest problem, Quill. Come on, Groot, we got scut to do.
Oh, Scott.
Rocket!
Flarking out, man. He's
What's with
been
him?
right scuttered, didn't he?
The Abomination is never happy.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Rocket's got a point, though. Our comms are flarked, the tracker's still counting down, and Corel could be anywhere in the universe.
The language from these Guardians, Jiminy Cricket.
It's not looking good.
We are in the place between hard rocks.
You mean a rock in a hard place?
That is what I said.
Hella knows we could use a night off. So,
Once was an avid reader like you. That took an arrow to the eye.
We should go to nowhere
Sick
instead.
reference, yeah.
Ah, Another suitable location to partake in liberal libations.
To report what we saw. Look, me and Cosmo go way back. He's chief of security. He'll make sure the right people know about the Rock.
And the tracker and fine?
Rocket's got a guy in nowhere. We kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay. I'll set the coordinates.
Well, if they come after us because the tracker went out, we can just be like, look,
maybe
they killed all your people. Can we pay you now?
Rocket.
All right, bloody hell. Maybe let me be the captain. I mean, fucking hell, I'm saying, I mean, bloody hell, it's just, you know. Oh, I can get up. All right, cool. All right.
Peter Quill, what does killing 2 birds with 1 stone signify?
You mean solving 2 problems with a
It's got
single
little glasses
solution?
on, that's nice.
Ha! I knew it! There are no birds on nowhere.
Depends if Shi'ar count. Saw a few of them last time.
I'm sorry, Drax. I thought paying our fine would make things better, but it just made things more complicated.
Do not apologize, Peter Quill. Our encounter with Novacor has given me clarity.
More is hot, yo.
We must
Might just need
investigate
an ice
and fight
cream.
this.
They could be quite close
there,
to a star,
Drax.
which would be quite hot,
We ain't
especially in the front of the ship.
fighting Novacor if we can help it.
Yeah,
Just let
cool.
Cosmo
I watched like the first.
The
I want to say
soldiers
like
we encountered were not
somewhere
acting
between
like
season
Novacor
7 and 9. I
officers.
think I stopped.
And those
There's a lot.
rogue
There's a lot of
priests,
seasons. I
it's
haven't watched
all
all of them, but I've
very
watched a
disturbing.
lot. I remember Snoop being in it. I remember Snoop. So I think that was quite far in, wasn't it, when Snoop was in there?
Maybe we should check other Novacor stations to see if they're all right.
You want to check out Novacor, you do it after we get to nowhere.
We should avoid making the rodent angrier.
Why? He's cute when he's
Hey,
angry.
thanks again, Blue. You still in the cinema? It's really good. Carl, smokes. Let's go.
Assassin, you believe the events unfolding aboard the Rock qualify as a mutiny, correct?
Looked pretty obvious to me.
Even if the officers who rebelled were
Spare
under the
little
influence of a
question.
mysterious force.
Doesn't really change that they rejected Novacor orders and started killing their shipmates.
So I got out of the
I
here
find
anyway.
it repulsive.
Pressing E on stuff, but it doesn't seem to give a shit. You left? I'm
Perhaps
trying
we
to
should
ruin it
consume
again.
the
and I
rest
went,
of our food rations
who the
before we
fuck
reach
ate my
nowhere
pepperoni?
to make room for new ones.
Quill really cared about this team. He wouldn't get turned around as soon as an ex-girlfriend walks into the room.
Yeah, what were you watching? That was that bad.
We almost got killed back there. I almost got killed.
Hey, guys? What's up?
Nothing at all, Quill. Not a
Yeah.
thing.
Something wrong with Groot?
Nope. He's just defoliating. Seasonal thing.
Come on, I know you're lying. You guys are planning something.
What we do ain't none of your business.
We're in a team.
Can't we just talk about it?
Talking ain't worth scut if you don't put your money where your mouth is.
Things are gonna get better, I promise. We'll fix it.
Just like you promised before Seknarf.
Come on, Rocket.
What? You gonna tell me I'm a valued member of your crew again?
Oh.
Leave us alone, Quill.
Let me rephrase that. Okay. The movie ended.
I
Oh,
need to
okay.
clear my mind.
What did you see?
This book is not helping.
And was
If
it
you need a recommendation, I just finished the
4
World Minds
Love and
postmortem
Thunder?
on ineffective plans
Leahy's your favorite
of
character though.
galactic
Honestly,
galactic
the guy who
war.
plays Leahy was one of the best like drunk actors I've ever known. His like
Very
his drunk man is like the best. He's so fucking good at acting drunk. You watch the subtitles on, yeah, fucking A, and he just ad lib drunk mumbled gibberish. Yeah.
Can't believe Quill's
Randy,
such a bootlicker.
you're on.
What's with this obsession with
Leahy's
bending
great.
over for Novacor?
I am Groot.
Respect them? Please. All the blue flak nards know how to do is arrest people trying to make a living and slap them with scut bug and fines.
I am Groot.
Nope. It's that simple, and Quill still wants to pay up. After all we've done for him.
Rocket?
Flark off, Quill!
Come on, guys.
Minions Rise of Gru. Ah, okay.
Groot says, go away.
I heard apparently lots of like people. They were like, you were banned from wearing suits to watching that in the UK because
Let's talk
apparently a
about
bunch
it.
of people
Leave us alone.
were wearing suits and screaming too much in cinemas. Took me to work in the streets again, Randy. A
reason
man
with
has to
him-
eat, Mr. Leahy.
Don't want to talk to you.
Rocket.
No, like a real suit. I think more like the one that Gru wears. I don't know. I don't know if my bot's working or not. It doesn't look like it's frozen. Hey, it's currently working. Sweet. You hear that, Randy? That's the shit clouds getting ready to rain a shitstorm down on those shit idiots. Oh, my little drinky boo. Randy. Oh, that's a nice hanging flower, but I
The
haven't
Nova
watered it.
tracker on Peter's chair isn't looking good. The countdown is making me anxious.
3 cycles is not a sufficient amount of time.
Really hope we can have the
I
thing
definitely don't
removed
have
on
enough to do it.
Nowhere, or we'll need a new ship.
I suggest getting one that smells more pleasant.
Yeah, no, I've turned off like song requests for this bit. I think song request is just off at the moment anyway, where the thing's always fucked. Sexy Julian in his sexy t-shirt and drink. Yeah, I love that he always has that drink as well. Like, no matter where he is.
Coordinates.
They're in your console.
Got it.
I don't want to get in yet. Let's have a chinwag. Get any new dolls for your collection? Where you going?
Assassin!
Calm down. I'm just going to the bathroom.
I am not agitated.
You just looked at me like you wanted to stab me.
My apologies. I have been told I have an angry thinking face.
Did Rocket say that?
I want to get
No,
that crack
it
looked
was
at.
Hovat, my late wife.
That's butt crack.
Oh. Sorry.
She used to compliment
How
my
far am I in?
contemplative scowls. She found them very arousing.
I think we're on
All right, I'm
chapter
outta here.
6. Oh, sorry, Gamora. What's up? Oh, you finished your loot time already? Oh, what's happening here?
I must admit, I fear for the crew of the Hala's Hope.
You think Corral would have let those lunatics board her ship?
She was not at her post.
Gamora? Not you two. Guys, stop using my toothbrush!
Won't let you see her in the toilet?
Toothbrush?
Oh,
I thought it was a nail brush.
It's a toothbrush for cleaning teeth!
You put my nail brush in your mouth?
Gamora!
Everybody just be using my toothbrush. Motherfuckers. Hey, llama. You'll never betray me. Well, we ate the cords last time, but... Okay, so we're about to go somewhere else.
Nowhere, here we come.
We're going nowhere. Yeah, yeah. And the crew don't seem too happy right now, do they? Oh. Hey, there's nowhere.
Nowhere. Last space port on the
Celestial
edge of
head.
the known universe and home to the best black market deals you can find.
And surprisingly
See,
good
it's
noodles.
got ever so slightly wider
Ever
during that
wondered what kind of
transition. Oh,
person
nice. That
found
was
it
probably
like,
time and
"Oh,
space.
look, the severed head of a
pulling
giant
apart there.
celestial being. Let's drill holes in it. and
Music on
live
in the ship, I
inside."
think the llama dances.
They wanted the
Oh,
brain
really?
tissue.
Oh, that's cool.
Very rare. Very
We got the streaming
valuable.
mode on, so I don't think it even
Marketplace
lets us
came
play any
after.
music in the ship now.
Along with noodles.
Looks pretty cool. I wonder if we're going to see the
You
collector.
are certain this Cosmo is trustworthy?
I was saying...
Peter
Of course.
Is
He's
Cosmo
chief of security.
not the dog?
And nowhere.
Isn't Cosmo the dog?
As such, probably deals in Nova Corps all the time.
Or am I thinking of someone else then? Hey, look at us! How you doing
Trust
today as well, buddy?
He's gonna want to know about the rock.
The llama does do the dance.
What
Wow.
are they doing back there?
Shenanigans, likely.
Hey, he knows about shenanigans. Nice.
See you never, flark bags!
Okay. Cosmo is a dog, yeah, right? Alright, sweet, so the head of security is the dog.
Are Rocket and Groot, did they really leave?
Yes.
It looks like it.
Do we know where they went?
You're the last one who talked to them.
Yeah, Rocket seemed pissed off.
He's always pissed off. Yeah, well, let me play anything. Is there any non-copyrighted ones on this one?
So, Drax, where do you want to partake in liberal libations?
I am unsure. Perhaps Mentlow's Tavern.
Really? Why
Where
not
is the
Al's
llama?
bar instead?
Because their ale is weaker than Mentlow's.
Maybe he's downstairs. Where's the llama? Oh, there we are. Oh, shaking its booty.
Hypothetically, if Rocket and Groot don't
Well,
come
Fudge the
back,
Laker,
I
yeah,
wonder
right.
if we should rename the team.
Was that Frank from GTA 5 that I just
Try to
heard?
behave while we're gone, okay?
Frank in GTA 5. Oh, Franklin. I don't think so.
Maybe when we
Hey,
get
Louis.
back,
How you
I'll
doing, my
have to
man?
Give you a bath.
What's up, boys? Sky is up. That was a good,
Can't
good
we get
Drax
going
reference.
already?
Guess you were right. Turns out we couldn't trust those guys.
I still have faith that the tree will bring the rodent to reason.
Yeah.
I hope Nowhere's chief of security will intervene to assist Novacor, the station we visited. It perturbs me still.
Heard that Europe is on fire in a bad way? Yeah, London was burning literally yesterday.
At least you're
it's
still
calmed
here.
down heat-wise today for
wouldn't wanna
sure,
miss
but
your
yeah,
meeting with
the heat was
Cosmo.
fucking crazy. Heat hit over 40 degrees
You
for the
wouldn't
first
know
time in
Rocket's
the
tracker
UK's
removing
history.
guy by any chance.
It was hot.
Nope.
Meant Trevor.
Sorry.
Ah, I don't think so. That's Stephen Ogg, isn't it? I don't believe he does voice in this. He might do though.
Do you believe the abomination is left for good?
Oh, he'll be back.
Phony
I tried
Beatlemania's
to run
bitten
away
the
too
dust.
when I was
Yeah.
his age.
But you were not an adult.
Thanos treated me like I was.
Fine, whatever.
would
We'll talk to Cosmo and then we'll go out and have a good time.
Alright. Start a fight.
You think Cosmo will actually believe us?
Yes.
Like I said, we go
He's a
way
good boy.
back. Plus, he's probably already heard about what's happening. All we do is confirm the rumor. Maybe he'll even give us a reward.
I suspect the rodent and his tree companion will be drinking somewhere.
Where'd he get the units to afford anything?
I do not expect him to pay his tab.
Confirm rumor, get reward. I like how the sound changes as you go into the advisor. You alright, mate? Why so long in the face? Get him. Scan that motherfucker. Oh, I can get this one. Oh, big buddy. And oh shit! Juicy boy! My man! Coming in with the tears on. Thank you very much, dude. And how are you doing today?
Serial killer.
Oh shit, Juicy. Thank you very much, my man.
I washed them before leaving. the
Yeah,
ship.
how is life? Life! Glee!
Spaceport seems busier than normal.
War always moves the poor to the frontiers.
The Galactic War was over 12 revolutions ago, and we're still waiting through the fallout.
Until it was ruined.
What about Rocket and Groot?
What about them? They left.
About them.
What am I supposed to do? Chase them down and beg them to come back?
Life's been something else? Well, I hope if that's in not a good way.
Does not need to be sincere.
I guess if we ever see him again.
Hopefully it
Big
gets
if, by the way.
good
But
for the
if
better.
it happens, then maybe I might think about it. Anyway, once we
No,
let
not just
Cosmo
jump over
know
there.
what's
Oh, I'm not
happening
letting my
out there,
booster
we'll have
feeds.
more time to think about what to do with
Motherfucker.
Rocket.
If Rocket doesn't come back, we'll need a contingency plan for getting rid of the Nova Tracker.
Why? We have not
Yeah.
yet spent our ill-gotten gains.
We
Could
haven't.
still pay the
They
fine.
might.
But we'd have to go all the way to New Xandar to do it. What if we get there and it's compromised too? There's gotta be someone shady enough in the market who can help.
Maybe. But Cosmo deals with Novacor all the time. Maybe we can pay the fine through him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I were Rocket.
It has ups and
where would I be?
downs, on and up right now.
not.
Fucking A!
It's much
That's good to
shorter
hear.
and covered in fur.
I mean, hypothetically.
Keep riding that
You would
train,
have
my
lived a
man.
completely different life, and your location would be irrelevant.
Thanks, Drax.
You're welcome.
Oh, hello. I can chat to this matey. You right, matey?
Saw you come in. Haven't seen an M-class in a while.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Not since
Stud.
Yondu went down, anyway.
Alright.
You know Yondu?
Used to.
Oh.
Long time ago. Before he got sent to the kiln. Heard one of his own crew turned him in.
Ah, so he
Yeah,
is
that
around
light
in this.
catches up to everyone eventually.
I'm assuming we'll see Yondu in this game. They can't do it without him, really, can they? Nah. Welcome to nowhere. Watch him. Oh, that mate. Oh, what's that? Just dumping their shit all over us. You alright, mate?
Do you know him?
How do we find this Cosmo?
We head to his tower on the far side of the market. That's where he keeps an eye on things.
He lives in a big ball because dogs love balls.
Hey there. I need to talk to Cosmo. He in his tower?
Should be. You know the way? It's straight through the market. Can't miss it. Something else I can help you with?
No. I think we're good.
Enjoy your time on Nowhere. Move along, please.
Also, I'm sure the reveal of Cosmo being a dog would be quite funny if we didn't already know. Alright. Let's get rocking and rolling. Tree of the Galaxy.
Be good to see Cosmo again. I guess I kind of missed the old boy.
How exactly do you know him?
Was he also a prisoner of the Chitauri?
Nope, we met right here. Back when I was in the Ravagers.
Dishonorable killers and thieves.
The Ravagers actually did some good during the war.
Even the mangiest of mutts will behave when it befits them.
Anyway, Cosmo sniffed out a scheme me and Yondu had cooking. He threatened to throw the both of us in jail.
I've heard he keeps things on a pretty tight leash.
Get him.
He does. But it turns out we're both from Earth, so he gave me a second chance.
What is this little red dude?
Keep an eye on your things.
I'll be over to you in a minute, little red dude.
Hands-on, if you know what I mean.
Like, yeah, he's saying, watch out that people don't steal. And that's the first thing I do.
Claim to be able to see the future, sure.
I've encountered them on several planets. Strange that's one of the things most galactic cultures share.
That and walking on two legs. I always imagined aliens would be more alien.
I don't know what just happened.
Places like this were everywhere during the war. Some desperate for answers, others just doing what they could to make a few units.
Guards know home. Give units in your past or future.
I've got enough to worry about with the present.
Guards never lie. Only speak.
No price. Alright.
No price.
What's my favourite suit? Well, so far I've only got a couple of suits. I would say the standard red suit out of this and this suit and the red suit for Star-Lord, I prefer this one. Otherwise, it's still like the Apocalypse ones.
I had my fortune told at the fair once. She said my future would be a roller coaster ride.
Looks like she was right.
Yes, so, but at the time I just went and rode the roller coaster.
Do you mind? You're making me uncomfortable. Your planetary chakras are very unaligned.
Oh. That's painful. Oh, you guys can't actually... Hang on, you guys can't see the subtitles, can you? Let me move my webcam up. There we go, sweet.
You must be mistaken. I'm doing great. Okay.
Hey, get him away. What are you saying? It's a primates, motherfucker. Back after you're evolved. Oh. Slap you up. You alright? Hey, that's Bart Simpson.
These charlatans are incessant. The soothsayers on Katath were unable to predict its demise.
No one could predict what Thanos would do.
Mad Titan will pay for everything that he has destroyed.
Cool little area for
He's
sure.
gone, Drax.
Yeah, mate.
I recognize you. A friend of Yondu's.
Hey, yeah.
Correct? Store-bought, wasn't it?
That's it.
Has my elixir cleared up that little problem of yours?
Nope, he's still got space herpes.
What? I've never needed any elixir.
Hello, good sir, whom I have never met before. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Nope. Just browsing.
I don't feel like I was browsing. Oh, okay, nice. Mantis!
Nexus,
Hey!
do you still have those suicidal urges?
What? No?
Huh. And you thought joining a team would be bad for you. Hi.
landlord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Rockstar?
Yep.
It's Star-Lord.
Hey, that's right. I forget which version of you I've met. Did you do the thing yet?
What is the thing she is referring to?
No idea.
Hi. I don't know if we've met yet. I'm... No. It's not... Oh, you poor... No, he's lying! I mean... Oh...
Yeah, different versions. Because I'm wearing different suits.
Where the Kotati take root, the broken promise of all will be mended.
Alright, Mantis is creepy as fuck in this game. Alright, so we need to kill Mantis in this one. She's clearly possessed. Like Poison Ivy.
Oh, hey, Gamora! You look less depressed.
She seems nice, right? Yeah.
Don't worry. It's always weird the first time.
Celestial Madonna!
Hi,
What
guys.
is that on them?
You should not be.
Oh, it's just ropes.
Actually, I'm exactly where I need to be. I think.
She like sounds a little different
This
than
is
what
where
you
I need to be, or needed to be. Am needed, yes. Wait, why are you here?
You cannot keep leaving
She
the
answered.
sanctuary. It's not safe. There are rumblings in the galaxy.
When aren't there rumblings in the galaxy? Yeah. Okay. If you're gonna keep
There
making
was some
that face.
stuff I need to pick up behind a shop, so get on with it.
It was nice seeing you again, Gamora. Star Guy. Okay, bye.
It's more blue. Bluish
So,
like grey.
Gamora, you and Mantis seem close.
We've met.
Okay.
You're being evasive, woman.
Wait, woman? That's the nicest thing you've ever called me.
Anyone ever tell you you're an open book?
Hardcover or paperback?
I just meant Mantis mentioned a few things.
Mantis says a lot of things. They don't always make sense. Until they do.
That insect woman was odd. I understand your reluctance to discuss her.
Banging
Mantis
tunes
is
up there.
strange, but she means well. I think she does, anyway.
That's it. It's nice, but I'd like to be able to spend some of the credits. Hey, how you doing?
You seem to know the insect woman, Peter Quill, even if she could not remember your name.
Last time I saw her, we were sharing a prison cell, except she said she was there on purpose.
What you saying, bro?
She's got some serious moves, regular ninja.
Sorry, I'll talk to you in a second,
Strike
buddy.
me as very serious.
Are we done? That was it? You just... Wow, okay. Just be rude to me and then carry on like nothing happened. Fine. See, the only problem with... Yeah, I say it's in every time we have it in a game. Like Eagle Vision. I find if it's in a game, half the time I'm playing the game in that mode rather than actually taking
Hey,
in
you think Mantis
the
has a
loveliness
stall in
they've made.
Sears Square?
It's a wonder this head hasn't collapsed in on itself yet.
Yeah. Seems just unnasty in the films.
okay,
Gonna have to
Drax?
Google Mantis over. Why don't you take inner stuff
Is that
then
yes, I'm
scan?
okay,
What
Grumble?
do you mean?
Sometimes I
Well, I do a
think
bit,
the
but I'm also like
sleaze is the only thing holding
no, McDonald's. Is that a spaghetti
better
burger?
sleaze than custom nano resin. I still got some of that stuck in
It's a
my
spaghetti burger.
boots.
Or at least I hope that's spaghetti. I can hear some banging bass, yo.
Who are those men with the insect woman?
Priests of Palma.
I have heard
And it's
of the
less for the
cowards.
scanning. I
More
keep scanning a lot,
pacifists
but I'm
than
more
cowards. But I can see how
more so
you
I
make
can see
that
the loot.
mistake.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
There was no one.
I need to leave.
What? You as well?
Something wrong?
It's not your business, Peter Quill.
Oh shit.
Do not wait for me.
Oh.
Drax!
Watch it, Star-Lord.
Watch yourself, jerky red guy!
Uh-oh.
Can you believe that?
Everyone's leaving him.
Gamora?
Guess I'm guardian of the
Let's go
galaxy.
talk to Cosmo alone.
That's right. More fussing for me. Can I turn? Yeah, thank you. Lonely, I'm so lonely. Oh, Collector's Emporium over there. Alright, alright.
Nice, Jack.
Part of me assumes I'm gonna go over there. I don't really know though.
Hard work keeping this place up and running. But it's one of the only honest jobs available. Like I always say, shortcuts end up hurting you more than helping.
Advice.
You always say
Try
that.
to remember it.
Why would you always say that? People obviously don't take it very seriously.
You can't win if you don't play.
I've got 12,000 galactic units.
You win a lottery ticket. The jackpot is 5 million units and climbing.
Did you say 5 million? Imagine what you could do with that.
Pay off crippling debt.
Pay Corral, fix
Maybe
up
I'll give
the
it a quick
Moana,
go.
Give the team
Go
a
to the
huge
bar and chill out.
bonus.
Well, I don't know if the Collector is the next bit of mission or if the bar is the next
How do
bit
I
of
know
mission.
if I win?
You are encouraged to return to nowhere to verify your ticket. After verification and an excessive verification fee, the jackpot will be transferred to your account.
What do you guys reckon? Buy ticket or refuse ticket? I'm leaning to, we've got enough. Our debt is 6,000. So we could buy a ticket for 1,000. It's probably a scam, but you never know. It might come back and help us in the future. I think I've answered it myself, really, but... we could go somewhere then. It's got a pretty cool little tune. Buy a ticket, make it a reward in the bait sale. Sick. Alright, yeah, good shout.
I'll take one.
Here you are. May fortune smile on you. More than she smiled on me.
Right. Guess I'll be seeing you in a few
Yeah,
rotations.
gambling.
Any luck, sir, with any luck. Good for you, bad for me.
Alright. Has it been a few rotations yet?
Hello again. The draw is still a few rotations
I was trying to see if I could buy more.
away. So how can one tell one rotation from the
That's what I'm saying,
I
big
was hoping
floaty.
to buy another ticket. You know, double my chances.
Unfortunately, that is against the rules.
Ah.
It's very important to follow.
Is it? Thank you, Hood. What are you saying, fam?
Make sure you don't cause any trouble. You won't get any special treatment, Terran.
You're wrong about that. Me and Cosmo understand each
I
other.
think well people gamble when they could just get payment for no hands. I mean, if you try and figure out people, dude, you're just going to end up murdering. And you don't need that.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking for my...
So should I go in here or should I go back to the bar? I don't really know. Reach Cosmos Tower. That's over there.
Try, but I'm
Okay,
not
yeah,
falling
Cosmos
for
Tower
that.
is over by there, so
Not
that's
again,
fine.
anyway.
Tale as old as time.
Greatest collection.
5,000?
Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. You lucky traveler.
Look at this poor
have
fucker.
arrived at the Illustrious Emporium. Private collection of Tannelir Tivan. The premier exhibit of wonders in the galaxy. Most would hoard these treasures, but not Mr.
I'm not paying $5
Tivan.
grand to get in. It looks like the door's already open.
So generous.
Go to the bar? No, I will in a
He
minute.
wishes to share them with the
I'm trying to avoid the story at the moment and see the little bits.
You like to take the tour?
No, thanks. I've seen enough strange things over the last few cycles.
Oh, you
Oh, okay,
have,
fair,
have
fair.
you? Well, then have yourself a fine day.
That poor motherfucker. I'm just gonna go in. Oh. I don't have my guns on me, so just as that.
What is this place?
You have stumbled into the wonderful...
Yeah, I suppose it did save me from buying a ticket.
Would
But
you like to purchase a souvenir? We have some very unique items.
what you got?
Maybe. What kind of things do you sell?
Replicas of very rare items. Figures and effigies from lost civilizations. Objet d'art, in other words.
Figures. Like dolls? There's a member of my crew, a woman, who might like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Collector has some hair. It really fucking does,
Foolish
right?
person might call them dolls. But that is neither here nor there.
Innit?
Tell me more about this person.
She, also likes swords.
Oh, not what does she like?
Such old business, yeah.
Oh, distant and tough. But I think maybe there might be some squishy bits in her somewhere.
Ah, I believe I have the perfect item. What do you think? Would you like to make a purchase?
Oh no, I ain't seen the item yet. I'm sorry. 50,000, 15,000, and 2,000. I might buy the gift for her and come back for this stuff. I don't have enough for either of those anyway, but I can buy that gift and still... Yeah, I'm buying it, fuck it.
It's just the right kind of creepy. She should love it.
A magnificent choice. I presume you will forgo the silk gift wrap.
Yeah, this is fine as is.
Very well. Enjoy your purchase. Good day.
Good day. Alright, cool. Well, Gamora's the only one who hasn't said she's fully out, so... You found a collecting pouring doll, Gamora might have something interesting to say about it. Back on the middle of the line. Is there? Get out of my way, nerd! Do I want to be over there? Oh, hello.
Okay, how do I look?
Amazing, as always.
This is where I was meant to be going, right? Can I come in your club, please? What? Motherfucker.
Hey, my
that
group
dude's
was
something.
supposed to wait here for me, but they must already be inside.
Hey, buddy Christ. Hey, 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 hey. Pew 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 pew. That's what I'm saying. What are you saying, fam?
Looks like you've got a lot of parts here.
Just about everything. Mostly. Refurbished, of course. Hard to get new equipment since the war.
Well...
You looking for something particular?
I wonder if you have something I could use to remove, Nova Core Disabler.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot I needed that money.
2G2, maybe? Nope. That one's
This is Star-Lord from another universe.
I got something.
They just never picked me up. Yondo never kidnapped me. Bastard. Still got the dead mum, sadly, but... How much did he say it was? I didn't hear. Did anyone see how much he was saying this was? He didn't say how much it was. I do much better start tricks. I did one earlier, but I can do another magic trick. Alright, ready. Bad tree for it. And now, I turn myself into a gremlin. Oh shit! And now I'm human again. Oh, sorry, that hurts to do. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. I don't do too many illusions anymore because... Yeah, it hurts.
And you're sure this will remove the disabler?
I was only 1,500. Okay, sick.
What it's supposed to.
That's great. Thanks.
Wow. I know. I would tell you guys how it's done, but it's magic, so you just can do it. Well, we can still pay our fine. I mean, that's not out of the question yet. Have I missed the bar? Oh, it's down here, isn't it? Maybe. Was the bar back there somewhere? I've got turned around. We can go down there as well. Does that lead like the same way around? I think it does. Oh, that's the bar over there, isn't it, actually? It says Gremlin, yeah, right. Last wave club was not very fit, unlucky. What do you mean? That was part of it. I mean, I was only a little gremlin, a little mogwai. You can't really... The lungs are much smaller on us when we're little mogwais, you know? Spend a little gremlin that is within grabbing distance from you? I don't know, I just turned into one. I mean, I don't know what you're saying, but... And you got with your little sponsors. So on my desk, I have Yeah, I have a little Mogwai. Had that for years, many years. My little Gizmo.
We are hiring on the mining rigs.
And then I've also got the little Among Us character that Enzo made me. Yeah, he crocheted that for me. It's sick.
Got a job, thanks.
Twitch streamers must have random items. Yeah. You got your older brother Tamagotchi last Christmas. There you go. Nice.
If I can hire 3 more workers,
You got a little bit of flair, you know.
Better work on.
Are you looking for something in particular?
Making a comeback, clearly. For sure it is, yeah. Give it a week before he kills it.
No, thanks. I'm trying to keep it on the straight and narrow.
If you ain't looking for anything, why do you keep bothering me for?
That's a good question. You got his fiance how to play recorder set. Nice. Both childhood dreams. Yeah, what are you saying there, big brain?
Afternoon, Captain. Tired of reading the midway? Ready to try your luck, or is it skill? Couldn't be simpler. Find the ball. Win the pariahs.
Pariahs.
This isn't one of those games where I have no chance of winning, is it?
Captain. Don't you know your onions, Captain? The good Bolshevik.
25. Oh, 25 credits. I can give a go for that.
No, sir.
So I can.
Big brain.
How about this, Captain? We play a friendly low-stakes game just to prove that I'm on the up and up. What do you say, Captain? What do you say?
Yeah, go on then.
Fine, I'm in. But don't try anything funny.
Not me, Captain. Not me. I run my game straight as an arrow. See?
He's gonna do it easy the first time and make it hard
now,
after that.
Keep your eyes glued as it moves. All right.
The middle one.
Oh yeah.
Captain.
Chicken dinner.
Chicken
Hey.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You got a sharp pair of peepers. Here's your winnings.
1,000.
See? My game's on the level and plumb true. A game of chance means you always have a chance to win.
Yes, you're right.
Sharp as a tack, Captain. How about we play again? Maybe raise the stakes just a smidgen?
Nah. I'm alright.
I better not. Not feeling very lucky right now. My team, my friends,
Sorry to hear that, Captain. Can't really help you there, but I can offer you a bit of destruction.
I'm sure if I did it again, I would end up losing a lot more money. So that seems to be the way. So let me check down here today. Yeah, right. Just earned $1,000 from 25 units. I'm cashing out, fam. Did I go down there already? There are so many different ways to go. Nowhere's fucking massive. I didn't come in this way, did I? I did come in this way, yeah. Okay, I did come in this way. Oh, that's the club that I'm not allowed in. Are my buddies in there? Can I see my buddies? Rule of thumb at the casino is never to quit while you're ahead, though. That's true. This isn't technically a casino. Technically, it was just a brain in the street. I know. Colorama slot machine. Alright, go in.
A one-armed bandit. Hard to say, but it looks like it's almost ready to pay out. Okay,
You want a
one
grand?
game.
Oh shit! Almighty baby! Coming in with 54 months now! Holy shit!
Yes! Oh, purple! That's a jackpot!
Is it?
Why are you paying out? Little error. Please contact
I paid 500 for that.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Thank you very much, Almighty dude. That's super nice of you, man. 54 months as well. That's insane.
Still broken. Lousy
Where's
game.
my money?
Still broken.
So he lost 500 in this one, yeah, from it breaking. But he earned £1,000 from a brain that was trying to con us, so swings and roundabouts, I guess. Alright, so I do want to go up there. Oh, that's the brain that I won money from. Oh, that's a side door. Hey, I can sneak in the club.
You want to know a secret?
Yeah.
I'm just an illusion, a specter.
Really experienced running from the cops. Yeah, and I broke into this club for free, so.
Tell. You look real enough to me.
You want to know another secret?
Yeah.
Something big is happening. Something great. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
If you're trying to con me into buying you around, it's not gonna work.
Oh, they were. Oh, I thought they genuinely liked us. How you? How you doing? Mind my business. Well, what about you? What are you saying, fam? You buy me a drink?
You're too cynical for me.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, you. I paid you for a job you know do.
Really?
You must be mistaken. I've never seen you before.
You are looking just like a man I had business with.
Must be super handsome.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hello. Oh, that's great to know. Good stuff. Good stuff. How you doing?
Small ghosts hanging around. Something is making them come back.
I've seen some crazy things, but ghosts? I doubt it.
You'll see. We'll all see. The place will be filled with ghosts soon enough.
Oh, shit.
Maybe you've had enough to drink already.
I think he needs more. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, fucking hell, look at this guy.
Feels like I got something stuck in my throat.
You want something to wash it down?
Now that you mention it, I am a little parched. What's good here?
Whatever you get.
And that's what I'll have.
Fair enough.
So, what's
It's my
new?
favourite.
What's the latest gossip?
Did you hear about Seknov 9?
Yeah, that was us.
Someone busted into the Monster Queen's fortress and robbed her blind.
Been spending that money here.
Oh, you don't say.
She put up a pretty substantial bounty for their capture too.
I should get going.
What are you doing up there, mate? Come on, this is a respectable place. Well, my buddies weren't in there. Is my machine working yet? You're a prick. I don't like that this guy's just standing here waiting.
Still broken. Lousy game.
What's wrong, honey? You look terrible. This is a place to forget your troubles.
Got one thing left to do, and then I plan on doing some serious forgetting.
If I see you again later, I'll buy you a drink.
It's a date.
Pull the same trick on Lady H, but with yourself instead. What do you mean go through Gene thing? Power crimes?
What's that smell?
Your mum, get him. Where nobody knows your name. Hey, there's a thing over there. These are like well uncomfortable seats. Alright. Oh shit! Oh shit! It's a gang fight! Ah, I'm dead. Motherfucker. Now we need to call the police. They just tried to murder us. He shot me right in the heart. Wait, they robbed me?
Hey!
Little shit!
This is turning into a real scut day.
Motherfuckers robbed me! Little shit. Oh shit, and the actual Guardians one. I'll just try that on for size. Okay, if we're going movie accurate, let's try and get us movie. Oh yeah, we ain't got nothing for her. This one's much better. and that's what we got from him too. Alright. Everybody knows your name. They started it. They had drawn their weapons first. What are you saying?
Maybe a gaudy bauble will make me feel better.
No.
Eh, better not. I'd have to carry it around with me all day.
How much is it? $7.50. After those kids robbed us, we don't really have much of a tuning. Ah, very interesting. Yeah, I see. Makes sense, actually. Great.
Lousy panel got overloaded.
Oh no.
There should be scorch marks, but I don't see anything.
I realized long ago I should stay away from wires.
There's something strange happening here. My power readings are off the charts, but this thing looks dead.
Oh well. Done with that. I'm gonna jump over you. Wee! Oh no, sorry. What's this do? I can see a split down the middle there. Is that just a screen? Welcome to the end of the line. All time, matter and space will eventually find its way into the rift and become nothing. Oh, it's Abyss, basking how ultimately meaningless this whole reality experiment has been, and perhaps your current troubles will disappear. Which means be sure to purchase a ticket to the Collector's Emporium to witness more cosmic oddities. Okay. Well, I'm not funny, but you got a bit of a texture issue with your rift. I can see a very clear seam right above his head and below his shoulder. Come. Yeah, that doesn't look good. That looks, again, just like a flat 2D picture. Hey, Drax! When did you get here?
Drax, bud. Is everything alright?
Well, I've already got one doll on me for Gamora, at least.
You believe that this is the edge of the universe, Peter Quill?
Well, yeah, because it is. So, this is the thing you had to do? Come to the observation deck to look at the rift?
No. I came to honor the memory of my family. They died without meaning or honor.
You don't, Blue.
I think I know
And
what
now
you
a
mean.
butterfly face. Don't worry, that one was just a simple illusion. It wasn't real.
Chitara game. She also died for no reason.
There's a lot of that going around.
Just shot her.
For sure. Mum didn't die from cancer. Okay.
But at least she's in a better place now. Right?
The ground. Again.
In Catathian religion, we believe that in order to reach Untaf, one must lead a
mispronounced
life
Utah.
with
That was weird.
purpose. And that failure to do so results in banishment to Sarduth. Our families have been cast out of paradise, Peter Quill, and into nothing.
Well, that's shit. Nice pep talk.
Whoa, wait. Wherever my mom is, it's not out there, okay? She was a good person.
How do you know?
Because I just know, alright? If she's
His
anywhere,
face is
it's
weirdly
in heaven.
smooth.
She doesn't just deserve
Yeah.
that. Stop.
I was thinking about Drax earlier. I don't know if they've just done like one texture for the skin over the entire body rather
If you do not mind, Peter
where they
Quill,
should do more. They got a bit of texture
I'd
in
like
the
to be
eyes,
left alone
a bit on the nose and that, but
Oh.
a lot of it's
Yeah.
quite uniform. His forehead's the same as his
Sure,
chest,
man, no problem.
which is the same as his belly.
I'll catch you back at the ship.
Well, at least he's not left the team. Did he not appear on my thing? No. Okay. Oh shit, not my vape over. That's good. Good. We will take a break soon and we'll be switching over to some multiplayer. Which multiplayer? I have not yet fully thought it out, but we will be switching. Oh yes, we will. Hey, how you doing?
She will heal the galaxy's pain.
Oh, that's
The
good.
only
Then.
thing that can heal pain is time.
And morphine. Escape room sim? I do not have escape room sim. What I do have, which might... I don't know if it is multiplayer actually. On Game Pass they got Power Wash Simulator. I do want to give that a go at some point, but I'm not sure if that's multiplayer or not. It might have a multiplayer thing to it.
I hope Cosmo's in the office.
Hey.
Bridge closed.
Oh, come on. I need to talk to my favourite dog.
Doesn't look closed.
C-suit. Nowhere security. Super official. Go other way. Alley.
I really need to see Cosmo.
Cosmo not in tower. He out there. Strong.
Remember today, little brother?
Hey, anime. Oh, golf game. Yeah, we haven't played that yet, actually.
Go. Or end up in Cosmo prison. You choose.
So I've got to find him in the alley. Okay. Maybe this is a good part to save it. It's a pretty creepy alley. Huh. Oh, I love this song. Oh wait, it is playing a song. Dug it up. We're playing music all the time. Pretty creepy, I need to stand in a massive dead guy's head. That's true, but... Yeah, that's true. Oh. Got him. Okay. Let's save it at this spot. It looks like a good spot to save. Guide, Kyle. Get it right. Jesus. Did ya? Alright, cool. Okay, so we are gonna